17. Can you imagine? It's almost March. It's crazy. So hopefully everybody's having a great evening. First of all, shout out to Chef's Express for the meal planning. I don't know if you guys do. We're going to talk about meal planning tomorrow during Tip Tuesday, but it is off the chain. Delicious, delicious, delicious. Saved me a huge amount of time. So shout out to Chef's Express to save me some headache when it comes to meal planning. All right, so tonight, guys, we're going to very briefly, because I had a chance to hang out with my son this weekend, and he's having to do a business plan. He's doing a business plan for his final project, his capstone class, and his plan is, for a restaurant that, fictitious English teacher, restaurant that he's going to open. And it was interesting to me because, he's 19 years old. No, he's not. He's 20. Oh my God. Okay, at the moment. Anyway, so he's 20 years old and he's never taken any formal business classes or anything like that. So he's having to take, hey Tiffany, hey Carol, he's having to take take this knowledge, the crash course knowledge of writing a business plan. So I thought about, folks who own businesses now, and how many people still do business plans? It's, if you're with crowdfunding, and there's so many other ways to get money nowadays to fund your business. A lot of folks don't do business plans anymore. They kind of just jump right into running their business. Hey, Tiffany. So I was wondering how many of you guys out there who own businesses have done a business plan. And for me as a business owner, hey Carol, doing a business plan is super important. Not because of funding, because none of the businesses that I own, hey Chantel, the businesses that I own, I didn't seek any funding from a bank, but doing a business plan gave me a roadmap. It gave me direction. But I know a lot of people don't do business plans anymore. And so I'm curious. I'm glad Chantel's on here because she does business plans too, helping folks write business plans. And it's just interesting to me that so many people don't find it necessary. There was an article in Forbes magazine recently talking about how business plans aren't necessary anymore. Maybe it's just because I'm a visual learner, but having a business plan really mapped out, made me understand what my vision was. It really made me understand, what my mission, why does this business exist? How is it going to set me apart from competitors? Who are my competitors? It really made me have a better understanding of what I was getting myself into. So I think it's, I don't know, it's kind of bothering me a little bit that there's this whole mindset of, you don't have to have a business plan now. You have to have a marketing plan, but you don't have to have a business plan. Hey, Twanda. Thank you. But it's interesting for me, as I'm working with new business owners and, people asking, is it really necessary to get a business plan? They seem to be so extensive. There's so much paperwork that deals with it. And, if you're not going for a formal bank loan, then maybe your business plan doesn't have to be as extensive. But I tell you, I have a mentor. I have a mentor I've been working with for the past year with my tutoring company, and one thing that he made me do a business plan, and he knew I wasn't going for any funding from a bank. He said, but Maya, you have to know your numbers. You have to know, why you exist. You have to know who your target market is. You have to know these things in order to prepare for it. So the way I look at a business plan is, if I'm a surgeon and I'm about to go into surgery, I want to know I need to map out what I'm going to do, because honestly, my business is my lifeline. So I look at it that way. Like, my business plan really helps me stay focused. It helps me have a clearer understanding. And for me, it's a living document. I'm constantly working on it, tweaking it. I want to be able to talk about my business as if I'm talking about my child, And so, hey, Avian. And so, having a business plan, I think having a business plan is very important for any entrepreneur. It doesn't necessarily have to be, one of those 70-page plans, but the different elements that are in a traditional plan, your mission statement, what the executive summary, what your mission statement is, what your vision is, who are the players, who are your employees, what are their roles, how important it is to know what the roles are of the people who you are working with as a so I have my tutoring company. I have 16 tutors on the books now, which is nice, right? But I also have this, hey Ra, I have a tutor manager, I have an executive assistant, and I have a financial manager. And so if I didn't sit down and write out like what their job actually is and what it's turning into, because it changes, I would be going crazy now. We would all be running around like chickens with our head cut off. Hey Regina. So you want to know those things. You have to be able to say, hey, this person's role in my company is, my role in my company is, I guess if you're a solopreneur and you don't have anybody working with you, you still need to know what your role is, because guess what? If you write it down, you're going to realize I'm doing too much. Like, how can I get some help with this? That's why you're stressed out. So for me, business plans are super important. If you don't have one right now, if you're a business owner and you don't have a business plan, I don't care how long you've been in business, do one. Just do one for the sake of really making sure that you have a clear understanding of your business. Thank you, boo. You inspire me, Miss Fabulosa. Have a clear understanding what your business is. And if you need a place to go for your business plan, SCORE is a great resource. They have an excellent business plan template that really walks you through the steps of what you need to have. I'm not a money person. I've never been a money person. Shout out to Jeff Marlowe, because he's my money man. But for the financial section, he took care of that for me. But I had to do it with him because I needed to have an understanding of where my money is and where it's going and what's coming in and how much I'm charging, and if I'm charging this much, how's that going to affect my profits, what's my revenue, how much am I spending, how much am I bringing in, and all of that is laid out in the plan. So if you don't have a business plan, use a SCORE template. Definitely use a SCORE template that will help you really start to organize what you're doing. And again, if you're currently in business, there's nothing wrong with taking a moment and saying, hey, let's really look at what our business is doing, because if you know where you are, then you know where you can go. You know what I'm saying? If you want to grow your business, you got to know your business. That's going to be a t-shirt. So don't try to take that. If you want to grow your business, did I say that? If you want to grow your business, you got to know your business. All right. That's going on the bumper sticker. So get your business plans done. If you need a resource, if you don't want to sit and do it yourself, and you don't want to have to go through the narratives and everything, reach out to me. I have some amazing preferred partners that I have that I work with that can definitely help you out. Miss Malachi, I don't know if you're still on here or not. Let me see if your name's down there yet. She's on this, writes business plans for folks. You can pay somebody else to do it for you, but and you just go through the process with them. But do your business plan. You need to know your business so you can grow your business. This is Maya. You guys have a blessed evening. Now make sure tomorrow I'm going to be on at about 6 o'clock tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tip Tuesday, Time Saving Tip Tuesday, and so we're going to be looking at my new favorite time saver tip. Quick hint, it's got to do with food. All right. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. And then also I got a couple things coming up. If you want to start a business, if you're looking like, I need some direction on how to get started, I am doing a class in March. It covers pretty much any industry. I am super, super passionate about making sure people have a secondary income. And one thing, I've been in network marketing a long time. And one thing about being a network marketer, what's so attractive about the MLM industry is that there's not a huge financial investment. And so, you pay $100, $200 to start a business, and you have something put together for you. It's all, it's already, you're working in a structure and you're growing a business, which is awesome. But everybody doesn't want to do network marketing. I love it, but everybody doesn't want to do that. And sometimes you just want to have a traditional business. And so I'm taking the concept of how we get started in network marketing by having kind of a package already put together for you, but I'm applying that to traditional business. So we have a package that we have together for you for your customized business, and we're going to take you through your first 30 days to get you launched, and then provide opportunity for you to continue with mentorship and guidance. So it's the benefit of the MLM industry, but in the traditional brick and mortar home business industry. So if you're looking to start a business, tax time is coming back. Don't spend your tax. Look, oh my God. If I see any more 30-day tags, y'all look. If you don't have a car and you're using your tax money to get a car, fine, whatever. But don't use all of your tax money on material goods. I put a post up today like, if you have 9 friends, take your tax money, all 10 of you put $1,000 together each and go buy an investment property. Do something with your tax return other than blinging out, right? Because half of those 30-day tags end up being repossessed by June. So let's invest in ourselves instead of investing in somebody else's business, right? So use your tax money to start a business for yourself. And really what I'm training folks to do over the next 30 days is to how to start their business, work their business 10 to 15 hours a week, and really start to plant the seed for something that's going to grow. Now, for those of us who are entrepreneurs, whoever's watching me this evening, if you're an entrepreneur, you're like, Maya, for real, you're going to try to tell people that they only have to work their business for 10 hours a week. That's where we're going to start. I'm looking at our 9-to-5ers. I call my weekend warriors. You are somebody that's working 9 to 5 and you want to be able to start a business. It's hard to say, well, yeah, you're going to have to dedicate another 40 hours. And that's how people end up just staying on their job. So that's not what I'm going to teach you to do. So we are looking at how to help people, anybody. When I say anybody, start a business in any industry. We're going to help you get started, get that kind of network marketing package together for you to get you rolling, making sure you have all the tools and making sure you have the guidance to roll off with it and get you launched in 30 days so you can start building something for your family. And then, your 10 hours a week will go to 12, and then eventually 15, and then 30, and then one day you'll be able to walk off your job with your own business. And if your boss gets crazy and they fire you, you won't be stressed out, because guess what, you already have a business. So that's what we're gonna be doing over the next month. I'm doing it every single month, but this time of year is when folks have a little extra money. So I will check out my page, and I will make sure you have the link. But all you have to do is go to bit.ly, bit.ly /10 HR 10 hour HRBIZ. So bit.ly /10 hour biz, and you can register for one of our courses. And I'm doing a specific course for virtual assistants. I think I talked about that before. So let's get it going, guys. Let's get some money in everybody's pockets. Let's start to create something within our community where we are back to being a community of entrepreneurs like our grandparents were. Let's get back to that, and look out for tomorrow, time saving tip Tuesday. All right. So I'll be on here probably about 6 o'clock tomorrow, so folks can get home from work and sit down and grab some food, and let's talk about how to save some time. And y'all have a blessed evening. I'm going to have to go look at my business plan. All right. Good night, guys. Later. See you tomorrow.